morning and welcome to our Energy Smart Fund webinar that is being facilitated by Fund Access. I am your host, Christine Jones, Project Development Officer here at Fund Access. Now we're here to discuss the Energy Smart Fund. We want to know, I'm sure you're keen to know what it is and how it can benefit your small business. Before we go into the meat of the matter, I just want to establish a protocol. One, you're free to ask some questions. Those who want to do so, please press the reaction icon so that you can raise your voice and ask a question directly, or you have the opportunity to just put your questions in a chat for those who may prefer to do so. Now, having said that, I just want to pass the mic to our General Manager, Mrs. Esteban Graham, who will deliver opening remarks. Thank you.
Good morning and a warm welcome to all of you attending this very important awareness seminar on the Smart Energy Fund and how Fund Access, as well as the fund managers, can assist you in your journey of becoming energy efficient. I especially want to welcome and thank our collaborators on this webinar, Ms. Sherry Wade from the Ministry of Energy and Business, and Mr. Antonio City, one of our Smart Fund partners. I also want to acknowledge Mr. Michael Callender and Ms. Christine Jones, our co-hosts and the brains behind this event. Fund Access continues on its path of empowering entrepreneurs, and this webinar is just another example of our commitment to you and another product to add to our existing portfolio consisting of the Business Boost, the Business Facilitator, the Business Innovator, the Business Pro, and the Business Escalator, all of which are detailed on our website and our social media pages. I think we all understand the importance of energy efficiency in our day-to-day lives and how being energy efficient can not only help us to do our part in reducing our carbon footprint, but will actually put dollars in your pockets. Before concluding, I just wish to express that I am so pleased that many of you have taken the time to be here. The hour will be packed full of a lot of information, but as usual, our officers will be available to explain anything you are unclear about or just want repeated for confirmation. I therefore urge you to soak in everything, get your applications in as soon as the webinar is over, and take advantage of this opportunity to become energy efficient via a grant or a very low cost loan, as will be explained to you in the webinar. Once again, welcome and good morning.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Lord Graham, for your opening remarks. We're now going to pass on the presentation to Ms. Sherry Wade. Ms. Sherry Wade is a project officer with the Ministry of Energy and Business, and she is going to be here to do a presentation that will, I'm very sure, will shed some light on the Energy Smart Fund program and how it can benefit you as a small business owner. Thank you very much. Sherry, over to you.
So thank you very much, Ms. Jones, for your warm introduction, and thank you for inviting the Ministry of Energy and Business to have a conversation on the Energy Smart Fund. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Sherry Wade, and I am the project officer in the Ministry of Energy and Business. Just excuse me 1 minute, my computer needs to be plugged in. 1 second. So sorry about that. Okay, so let's continue. So today's presentation, I will first give an overall context and program overview of the program overview. I will explain what the Energy Smart Fund is and identify how it strategically aligns with the Barbados National Energy Policy. The presentation will highlight why businesses should get involved and how they can benefit from renewable energy and energy efficient technologies. I will also introduce Fund Access to give their role in the presentation. So without further ado, let's delve in. Barbados' high dependence on fossil fuels, especially in an environment with astronomical oil prices, the sustainability of businesses as well as the country's competitiveness is jeopardized and can be crippling to businesses and countries such as ours. The Barbados National Energy Policy 2090 to 2030 was developed to provide a clear direction as we seek to transform Barbados from a petroleum-based economy to the first 100% renewable energy and carbon neutral island state in the world. So why implement energy projects? In order to achieve our goal, we are calling on every Barbadian to be an energy champion. Simply put, this is a call to on all Barbadians to be smart in their energy use, not only in the purchasing of energy efficient equipment and appliances, but also in energy conservation and the use of renewable energy resources as we move towards our 2030 targets. So anyone can become an energy champion. You should try to reduce your energy cost. It will improve your cash flow, leading to savings, which will go straight to the bottom line. And you can use this to further develop your business. It will increase your efficiency and resilience, especially in the case of disaster if you use off-grid and hybrid PV systems, and lead to increased competitiveness. So what really is the Energy Smart Fund? The Energy Smart Fund is a suite of financial instruments designed for existing businesses and is aimed at providing capacity building to develop and implement renewable energy and energy efficient projects for greater sustainability. The fund has been recapitalized with Barbados 26.2 million in loan resources from the IDB and grant resources from the European Union. So the program really has three components, but today we'll be focusing on component one, which is really the fun. There are three activities under this component, and we will go more in depth as we go on. Just a little note though, we do have one facility which is still in planning. This is the air conditioning trade-in facility, and this is the only facility which both businesses and homeowners can benefit, where persons will be able to change out their inefficient ACs to more energy efficient ACs. So businesses can get up to 5 and householders will be able to get up to 2 ACs. So technical assistance. As I alluded to earlier, the facility has three facilities, the first of which is the technical assistance facility. This is also known as the grant facility. This facility will provide grants to finance the required pre-investment studies and pilots for renewable energy and renewable energy projects, for energy efficiency and renewable energy projects. The purpose of this facility is to bring energy efficiency and renewable energy projects that have the potential of being viable to a stage where they can be financed and implemented. There are four areas under the component one. The first is energy audits. Energy audits. These are detailed assessments to assist in determining the technical and financial viability of installing energy efficiency technologies at a business. The audit will provide you with a complete electricity consumption and energy efficiency assessment. Preliminary audits. This is a simple surveying audit in which the auditor only investigates the energy conservation of the organization. These are also known as walkthroughs. These walkthrough audits are allowed for small businesses for energy efficiency and renewable energy projects, such as hair salons, barbershops, etc. Renewable energy studies. These are any studies required to facilitate governmental permissions where appropriate, and are generally studies which are necessary for assessing the technical, economic, financial, or environmental viability of renewable energy projects, thus allowing them to be financed and implemented. So these are your environmental impact assessments, your social impact assessments, or any geotechnical studies which may be necessary. The last source of financing available under the TA facility is pilot projects. This is one of the new features to the fund, and it was introduced to encourage micro businesses such as yourself to experience firsthand what benefits can be obtained from small scale energy interventions. These small scale projects include replacing incandescent or other less efficient light bulbs such as CFLs with LEDs and or installing occupancy sensors, replacing inefficient split system air conditioning units with energy efficient ACs, energy conservation projects such as power monitors, and electric mobility projects, including electric bicycles, motorcycles, and golf courts. So, your electric vehicles cannot be allowed under the grant facility. Renewable energy projects, including small PV projects no larger than 24 kilowatts, and solar water heating systems. The maximum size of any grant application is Barbados $50,000. An applicant can combine any of the interventions that I spoke to earlier, but they still cannot exceed $50,000. But you do not have to go through this alone. Support is provided through smartphone partners, and Antonio will speak to his role and what he would do as a smartphone partner. Smartphone partners provide support for businesses, and they lend assistance for you to get your intervention either energy efficiency or renewable energy. These are as intermediaries who have been selected based on set criteria to work with clients. The list of smartphone partners can be found on the EGFL's website, but hopefully soon Fund Access will also be uploaded the list of approved smartphone partners to their website as well. So smartphone partners are not executing agencies or sub executing agencies of the fund. EGFL, Fund Access, or the government. They are hired directly by the businesses that receive support from the fund. So currently we have 5 smartphone partners approved. These are Mr. Julian Jordan, Mr. Antonio Silly, Mr. Hallam Edwards, Mr. Irwin Edwards, and Mr. Robert Weeks. So you can choose any one of these persons to assist in your energy efforts. So how do you really apply for a grant? So the first step is to choose a smartphone partner based on the list that I would have identified just now. You, the client, will meet with your smartphone partner and you would give background information on your business to help him determine your energy consumption and your energy use. That will you will also need to provide your latent power bill so he can see your consumption patterns. So your smartphone partner will discuss the options available to you. Do you need a PV system? Do you need to change out your fridge depending on what you do? Yeah. So smartphone partners and the client sign off on the course of action that was discussed, and your smartphone partner prepares the technical assistance form if you so desire. The client reviews your the technical assistance form, and you provide the list of documents that are required, which I will go through shortly. Yeah, it is the client who submits the application to Fund Access. Fund Access will submit the application to the Ministry of Energy for technical and economic viability. The Ministry of Energy's Smartphone Technical Committee reviews the application, and we have 3 options. We either approve your application, we reject your application, or we defer your application. We defer an application when further clarity is required or if there are omissions to the submission. Fund Access also reviews for financial viability, not technical reviews the technical assistance form for financial viability, as I said. The ministry formally informs fund access to the committee's decision. Fund access then informs the client of the decision and further continues action. If the application is successful, fund access will meet with you to discuss your terms. If, for example, your application requires is was deferred due to insufficient information, then fund access will ask you to to submit that information, and the application is resubmitted to the technical committee for their review. So I just wanted to, I hope this form actually opens. I actually wanted to show you what a form looks like, but unfortunately that link is not working. So I will still put it up later as Antonio speaks. Okay, so the documents required to apply for the technical assistance form. The client must submit a signed letter of intent. You must submit your application form, which is the project ID, your electricity cost for 12 months, the copies of your gas bill where applicable, your financial documents that will go directly to Fund Access for them to do their assessments, and your technical specifications. If you're doing a renewable energy project or a pilot project, you need to submit your site plan so that we can see where the intervention is going to see if there's any shading that would impede the PV, etc. So terms and conditions. As I said earlier, the technical assistance grant cannot exceed $50,000. A maximum of 2 grants may be awarded to any business, one for a feasibility study and one for the pilot project. A deposit starting at 2% is mandatory for all clients. The deposit, however, may be refunded if the client goes forward to implement an EERRE solution under the loan facility. An audit must be completed prior to the implementation of pilot projects, and all projects must be implemented in accordance with the environmental health and safety plan. It was necessary to include the environmental and health and safety aspects. As you know, we will be implementing a lot of technology, and we must ensure that they are implemented and disposed of in an environmentally sound and within international standards. So let's look at the loan facility. The purpose of the loan facility is to increase the uptake of viable energy efficiency and renewable energy projects by existing businesses in Barbados. The fund will be administered by EGFL, and a division of the fund will be administered by Fund Access for micro and small businesses. The maximum loan amount is for businesses is Barbados $2 million. Small businesses may apply to Fund Access for up to $150,000, and businesses may also apply to EGFL for larger projects. Eligible projects under the loan facility include all the technology previously mentioned, but will also include appliances, electric vehicles, electric buses, in addition to the bikes and the golf course, as well as the supporting infrastructure for these technologies. Renewable energy projects will include solar PV systems larger than 24 kilowatts and small wind systems. It will also include working capital for producers that only manufacture or assemble approved energy efficiency and renewable energy technologies. So we are aware that persons often hear the terms energy efficiency and energy conservation, but may not fully understand what they mean. So we thought it would be useful to actually give a very concise reference distinguishing the two. Okay. So energy efficiency may be defined as using less energy to produce the same result. Persons in general often think that in order to do a clean energy intervention, they must do a PV system. They often do not think of energy efficiency and energy conservation. However, these can be considered the low-hanging fruit. This is where having an audit is critical to finding out current consumption to assist in identifying measures which can be put in place to become more energy efficient. Set a monthly electricity target. So say your business will use $500 a month, then you will try not to go over that $500 by using energy efficient measures. You will turn off your lights when you leave in the room. If you are leaving the building, you turn off the AC, keep your AC at a constant temperature. So those are some of the things that you can do. So energy conservation, on the other hand, is the effort made to reduce the consumption of energy by using less of an energy service. This can be achieved either by using energy more efficiently or by reducing the amount of the service use. So cutting operating costs will increase the profit and allow for improved competitiveness no matter what type of business you are in. So, as one may appreciate, lights and ACs are two of the most common energy efficient technologies persons are familiar with. So, if one does a quick analysis comparing incandescent, um, which are the old light bulbs, with CFLs, which are the curly light bulbs, with LEDs, they will determine that LEDs are the most efficient. But why? Taking the example on the screen, if a business changed out 10 60-watt incandescent light bulbs with an equivalent LED bulb, this equates to savings of $104.20 per month. If a business was to change out 10 18-watt CFL light bulbs with an equivalent light bulb, they will save $18.40 per month. CFLs use 25 to 35% less energy than incandescent light bulbs, whereas LEDs use 75% less than an incandescent light bulb. LEDs have no mercury, they last longer, and they are recyclable. With respect to ACs, one can see that it is more beneficial and environmentally friendly to install an inverter AC rather than a traditional AC. And some of the benefits are listed here. It's still relatively cost effective, no voltage consumption, and the list goes on. So let's take a look at renewable energy. There are primarily three types of PV system: an off-grid system, which is the one that uses the batteries, which is completely independent from the utility. So if the power goes off, the business will still have power. The grid tied, which is the most common systems we use in Barbados. So if the electricity does go down, however, you still will not have power. And a hybrid, which is a combination of the two. So once a business is structurally sound, even if it has a concrete or sloping roof, there is an option which can be considered once it has sufficient roof space. Notwithstanding, there are other options available in carports and ground-mounted systems. So if we took the 5 kilowatt system on the screen, you will see that a approximate cost of this system is about $20,000. It is the cheaper out of the three systems, outer carport and the ground mounted system. And if you were to install this 5 kilowatt system, you will have to install, you will receive a monthly income, if you want to look at it like that, or savings of $351.08. This is if we use the grid tie system, which we currently have. So as I said, I wanted to show you the forms, but for some reason, they aren't loading. So we will try to do that later. Okay, so what are the documents necessary for you to apply for a loan? You have to have a signed letter of intent. You have to have the loan application, which is the project ID. You have to have your copies of the electric bills, your copies of the gas bills where appropriate. You have to have your necessary governmental licenses, and your corporate details. You must be registered. You have to have your financial documentation so that Fund Access can do their financial analysis. You have to have the site plan, and you have to have any approvals, town and country planning approvals necessary. And you must include your technical specifications, so that the technical and economic analysis can be undertaken. So in terms of conditions for the loans, the maximum size is $2 million, but for Fund Access, the maximum size that you can borrow is 150,000 Barbados dollars. The interest rate is 3.75% per annum, and the maximum loan term is 10 years. So what is not included in the fund? Hybrid vehicles, startup funding for new businesses, funding to set up a solar farm. Solar farms may only be considered if an existing business does not have sufficient space at its location, either roof space or ground space, and we allow 150% of peak demand of the applicant's business operations, thereby creating a link to the existing enterprise. Solar PV systems should stipulate that the PV system cannot be sold or assigned once the financing provided by the fund is still outstanding. Pilot projects must must include an audit or walkthrough before being implemented. Extensive roof repairs are not allowed, and electric vehicles such as cars and buses are not included in the grant. So then, why choose the Energy Smart Fund over the competitors? All businesses can apply to the fund. We have a dedicated fund manager in Fund Access for small and micro businesses. You have a competitive interest rate at 3.75 over 10 years. You have flexible arrangements. You have an experienced cadre of professionals in your smartphone partners, and a wide range of technologies which can be implemented. And you can be recognized as an energy champion. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the presentation and it was informative. I look forward to addressing your concerns in the question and answer segment. Thank you. Over to you, Christine.
Thank you very much, Sherry, for your wonderful presentation and informing us on the Energy Smart Fund. We recognize that there are two elements to it. There's the grant funding component, and there's also the loan component. And obviously, you would have heard, to be able to access the grant facility, you will need to engage a smart fund partner. And we have Mr. Antonio C. from Lithium Consulting to speak to that. He is a smart fund partner, and he's well versed in giving us information on what you would need to do as it relates to the grant funding component. Over to you, Antonio. Thank you.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Proceed.
great. All right, so good morning, everyone. Thanks to the Fund Access for giving me the opportunity to speak to you guys this morning. So basically, I'm going to just run through a few things. Let me just share my screen quickly. Do I have the ability to share? Open share tray. I'm not seeing share screen.
At the top, Antonio should be to your right.
Top right. Allow mic for attendees. Within the app.
Yeah, you want to email it to me so I can share for you, and you just tell me when you want me to share the screen?
Sure, I could do that.
Okay.
It's only a one slide page anyway, so
Antonio and Sherry are navigating the presentation for the smartphone part. I just want to remind you that if you have any questions, we are reserving at the end of the presentation. I just also want to remind you that if you want to speak directly to either the smartphone partner or Sherry Wave, you can click on your reaction icon so you can speak directly to them. If you prefer to raise your hand, raise your hand on the reaction icon. But if you prefer to, to just type in the information, you can type it and we will communicate it to the smartphone partner so that they can respond to you or share it with the project officer.
All right, so I would have sent you the presentation there just now. Let me know when you get it. Yeah, so I'll just start to talk on it until Sherry gets it. So basically, as a small business, one of the things that we realize is that small businesses, energy accounts for a very large percentage of the overheads and operating expense for a lot of businesses. It actually becomes a greater percentage a lot of the time for small businesses. So whether it's your transportation costs in terms of fuel, whether it's the electricity costs to run your business, energy typically accounts for a very large percentage. So if we look at it from a financial perspective or business perspective, if you have the ability to be more efficient in how you consume energy, you can actually impact your business and bottom line pretty drastically. So Sherry would have done a pretty comprehensive job at explaining some of the opportunities that are available to you with respect to energy. There's the energy efficiency side of things, then there's the renewable energy side of things. I could say as a smartphone partner, a lot of the time with my engagement with customers, I think a lot of clients focus a lot on the renewable energy side of things. So they look at energy as something that they could only impact if they install a renewable energy system. And I think Sherry highlighted it, and I think it's very important, and I think is one of the key messages that we need to convey to particularly small businesses, that the opportunity in being or making good energy decisions is not only in investing in renewable energy, but also the energy efficiency component. So, for example, we see a lot of clients that would have equipment in operation. So if you say you are a restaurant or you are an operation that has a huge refrigeration component, we would see persons, have very old equipment there. And a lot of the times, they think they're making the best financial decision by owning and keeping that equipment for a long time. So you're saying, it's going to cost me $2,000, $5,000 to get a new fridge, and you're going to extend the life for this one. This one served me well for the last 10 years and it's still working. So I'm going to continue to use this. But sometimes it might actually be a better financial decision to change that refrigerator, get a new one that is more efficient, and that will actually save you a lot more in the long run. So the next point two, is that usually most of the time, the improvements or the energy opportunity is in the form of an investment. So you have to spend some money up front to save money over a longer period of time. So that's one of the key points I also want to get across to potential persons looking to go after this opportunity, that is usually going to be in the form of an investment. So you spend $1,000 now to save $10,000 over the next 10 years. And that's kind of how you have to frame your mind when you're looking at all of these opportunities. So usually I could tell you for a fact, a lot of the conversations, sometimes it's difficult to pitch and show persons, hey, if you spend this money now, this is how it's going to impact you in the future. But that is the real kind of mindset you have to have when you're looking at energy efficiency and renewable energy opportunities. So it's going to come in the form of an investment. So if you're really seeking to make your business more sustainable in the long run, is going to be some kind of investment you make in that opportunity. One of the next major things that comes to mind that I can give you feedback on based on my engagement, and Sherry mentioned this as well, is the concept of going after the low hanging fruits. So I think a lot of the time when business owners, small business owners, think of energy, they hope to kind of bite off a big amount one time. So they want to get rid of the electricity bill altogether. I don't want to use any fuel, or I don't want to do anything um, at all. I don't want to. You want to go from 100 to 0. But sometimes the best energy opportunities are to take it in small chunks, go after the low hanging fruit first, and then kind of phase into the bigger investments. So you start to get some returns on the smaller investments first, and then gradually make your way to the bigger investments. So I kind of got like a hierarchy here. It's not necessarily foolproof. It could vary, but you could start with something as simple as an energy monitor, just to understand how you use energy, and then kind of make your way up to that investment in the renewable energy system. So most of the time, the lower hanging fruits are opportunities that a lot of businesses might overlook, and that is kind of where the importance of having that pre-investment audit, energy audit comes in. So like someone like myself would come in and be able to quickly show you some of those opportunities that you can take as your first steps before you go to the bigger opportunities. And I think one important thing to bear in mind is that most of the time small business owners, they may not have a strength in everything. So everyone is not necessarily technical, or everyone is not necessarily a best financial person, or whatever the case. So everyone has their strengths. So the good part about the structure of the smart fund and having the smart fund partners is now you have the ability to have someone come on board with your best interest in mind, and kind of look at the full picture for you, and kind of assess the needs of your business. And the truth of the matter is that every business, it varies. There's no one size fits all solution that makes you energy efficient or renewable energy champion. So it's kind of different depending on the business that you have, and the smartphone partners will be persons that are well versed and experienced to be able to come and help you with those opportunities. So point 4 now, understand your baseline first and the biggest contributors. So one of the things that I like to do and I like to highlight in an energy audit is basically show you the contribution of your overall energy bill and energy usage based on different variables. So whether it's by room, whether it's by equipment, or whether it's by type of equipment. So I think a lot of persons may have particular ideas of what they think are the drivers of energy in their facility, and sometimes they may not actually be the key drivers of energy. So persons may be thinking that my lighting is the biggest contribution to my energy, when it might actually be refrigeration. So it's kind of being able to understand those intricate details to help you make the best decisions. Because if you say you have a refrigerator, you have a piece of equipment, you have different pieces of things that are contributing to energy, you may think that by eliminating one or removing one, you would get the best return. And it might be something else that might actually be the bigger contributor to your energy consumption. So it's kind of helping you make the best decisions, because at the end of the day, you don't have limited money. Yes, the fund is providing you with grants and providing you with loans to be able to go after these opportunities, but at the same time, you still have to prioritize. And that's kind of what the energy audits kind of do, help you to be able to prioritize and make the best use of the funds that are available to you. So if it is a case that installing a 10 kilowatt system will be able to offset your energy by X%, but changing out your inverter ACs might actually reduce your energy by a greater percentage. So it's being able to make those decisions, and sometimes it's a combination of things that would be your best solution. So changing your AC along with the investment in renewable energy and different kind of things like that, we'll be able to help you quantify those opportunities. So the fifth point, and I think this is the biggest one, investing in renewable energy without becoming energy efficient is counterproductive. So if you go ahead and get your 10 kilowatt system and you're expecting to get a credit or get a net zero bill, if you don't actually reduce your energy consumption, it's going to be unlikely that you're going to actually achieve that target. So basically, the message is be efficient first, reduce your energy consumption as much as you can. Obviously, they take some energy input to get some product out, so it's not going to go to zero. You have to use or consume some amount of power to be able to do whatever your business is. You have to, so there's some amount of energy that has to be used. So it's almost impossible to get something without doing something. But the message here is to reduce that as much as possible, get that to a point where it is optimum, and then make the investment in the renewable energy. And that is essentially my summary from the perspective of what we look for when we come to your facilities. I think Sherry did a good job of highlighting the process, highlighting the documentation that you would need. But from my perspective, the key is usually understanding your operation, understanding how you consume energy, and tailoring a path that is best suited for you, so that when you spend that money, you get the best return that you can get. So that's really my contribution to today's meeting. If you have any specific questions, you see where you'll be able to contact me, or you can contact me through Fund Access or the Ministry of Energy. But I'm definitely available to support any small businesses who want to make this leap into the energy efficiency, renewable energy, and basically make their business more efficient.
Okay, thank you so very much, Antonio, for your wonderful presentation. Your key takeaways were right on point. And what we want to encourage you now, those who are here and who are hearing my voice, I'm encouraging you now to present your questions, as I said before. To assist us in the process, I have my co-host, Mr. Michael Calder, who is he's no stranger to us. He's the project and he's the project development manager here at Fund Access. So I just want to encourage you to ask your questions now. I know your presentation was really, excellent, and you might not have a question, but I'm sure if you dig deep, there was something there that you could think of that you would want to address now. Are there any questions or any comments? I'm speaking now to our. I see a hand raised. Kason, you have a question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, you hear me?
Yes,
Okay,
we can
great.
hear you, Kason.
I just
Welcome.
wanted to confirm the process. So, as someone who's interested in it, my first step would not be it wouldn't be to contact Fund Access or go to the site. It would be to contact these partners first and let them do the study. Is that the first step?
No, you have a couple of, thank you for your question, Kason. You have a couple of options. So what you can do, the ministry actually has a portal set up on Smart Energy Barbados. You can actually go to the website and we have a form there that you can fill out to say, what you're interested in, if you're interested in a grant or a loan, and the type of business. You give a very concise amount of information, and we, the ministry, then forwards that information to Fund Access. Or if what you can do, from a list of smartphone partners, you can actually call one of those persons and say, well, I'm looking to do an intervention, and you set up a meeting and you take it from there with your smartphone partner. So you have those two options available to you.
Okay, thanks.
Very welcome, Jason. So I hope that that was clear to you. There's a portal which is available through the Ministry of Energy and Business. And you can go to the portal, and from there you can begin the process from there. And you can also go directly to the smartphone partners. For those who might not recall who they are, I just want to let you know that you can contact us here at Fund Access, and you can provide that information to you, email that information to you, so you will know how to select. You can select one partner to get the process started. Any more questions or comments?
I just wanted to add to Christine, in addition to Antonio's presentation, persons do not have to do everything at one point in time. Say for instance, they contacted Antonio to come and do an audit, and he presented, say it is a, a restaurant, and the person has fridges, ACs, freezers, etc. And the first stage is that they wanted to change out their lights. Then they can couple it along with the partner. They can couple the proposal in a way that they can do it in a phase approach, because we know that things are tight and we want to start somewhere. So you don't have to do everything one time, or you can try to do everything in the technical assistance, and then go forward for a loan to do a bigger intervention at a later date.
Thank you very much, Sherry. Now, you will have seen in the chat room that the link to the ministry's website is there, so that you can go there to go to their portal to get the process started. Any more questions or comments?
Just want to add something here, especially for the study, for assessments, and good morning to all. With our fund access program, what we're going to do, we try as much as possible to assist the clients with the smart energy fund. We do understand that there are some that have some misunderstandings of the system. What we're trying to do, we put in most of the pressure on the smartphone partners and some of the pressure on Christine and myself, but in terms of trying to sit before the process. Now, the process seems very, very difficult to some people, and we understand that. But if when you're actually going through this, it's not as difficult as we actually seem. There are some areas too that we can make some adjustments. We're not, especially for the grant financing part of it, financial information is not as critical as it would be for the loans. And I also want to stress that in terms of funding, the grant funding goes up to $50,000. If you're borrowing more than $50,000, then loan funding would come into play from $50,000 to $150,000. So that is extremely important for entrepreneurs, because there's an opportunity here where you can benefit from some element of grant funding and some element of loan funding. Now, to make it abundantly clear to all, grant funding means you do not have to pay back any money. And I have to clarify, because some persons, you know, that when I told them about the grant concept, they were a bit concerned in terms of the base to the service that day. But the grant funding has no debt attached to it. The only thing that you would pay is the 2% of the amount for the assessment, and that's all. And as it relates now to the loan, but that's a different matter. The interest rate is 3.75% on the reducing balance. We would use security primarily in terms of we would use the panels, but we have fund access, you all know us, and we'll be flexible where security is concerned. But I just want the clients to well, some questions are coming here, but to understand that if there are any queries, any issues that you have, don't just take it upon yourself and get off frustrated, etc. Make Christine and myself miserable. Call us, get clarification. We make Sherry miserable, and now we will make Antonio even more miserable. But the idea is to get the uptake. We want to get clients to take advantage of this and the benefits that comes from this smart energy program. You have another question coming in?
I see the hands raised. Okay, so you have another question?
Yes, I do. The other question is, I know for part of the process for the solar panels, you have to have the town and country approval, which sometimes can take a while. Do you have to wait for that before you even submit the application? Or, okay, let's say you do the assessment. They say, yes, solar panels is what they should get. They give you a suggestion on solar panels. So then do I have to take that, then apply for town and country approval and then send in the application?
I'm
No.
going to let Sherry answer
Yeah.
that.
Thanks again for your question. You can submit your application. It is when before you actually do your sign in with Fund Access, you have to have your town and country planning approval in hand, but you can still submit your application. Hope
Thank you.
that answers your question.
Yes, it is.
All right, there's another question coming in from CMO Technology, Sarita Odo.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I came in very late. Was having trouble signing on. Just a quick question about the grant funding. What are the requirements for the grant funding?
You want to take that one?
Hi, good morning. Your requirements in
Yeah.
terms of the list of documents that you would require
Yeah, I
or the process.
didn't hear any information required. I came in. The
Okay.
process and the requirements.
So, for in terms of the documentation, you would need a signed letter of intent. If you intend to do a PV system or a pilot project, you would need to have your site plans along with your technical assessment, your technical data, sorry. You will also need to have a smartphone partner to conduct an audit for you, um, albeit a walkthrough or a full a full efficiency audit, or if it's a renewable study, depending on what you want to do, you have to produce 12 months of electric bills, and if necessary, your 12 months of gas bills. The process is we have two processes in train right now. If you have an existing relationship with Fund Access, you are free to contact Fund Access and start the process there, or you can go on the ministry's website, Smart Energy Barbados. We have a portal there, and you can submit the name of your business, the type of intervention you're looking at, um, give a brief synopsis of what it is you are interested in and what you do, and the intervention that you are looking to do, and we will forward that directly to Fund Access, and they will also contact you. There are a list of smartphone partners, I think about 5 persons that you would choose to help you through the process in terms of conducting your audit to see where your energy efficiency and consumption levels are. And then you and your smartphone partner will develop a proposal and submit it to the ministry, submit it to Fund Access for for financial assessment, and Fund Access will submit it to the Ministry of Energy for a technical and economic assessment.
All right.
So that in a nutshell is the process.
Okay, thank you, Sharita, for your question. Thanks again, Sherry, for your response. We have another question, but it's in the chat. So, Sherry, can you see Annette Beckett has a question, but it's in the chat. Can you see it?
Must your project or business be new if you already have the panels extra and are getting credit from you want to upgrade? Yes. Um, so you don't have to, that means that you're looking to do a different intervention to what you have already. So you can apply to the fund for something like that.
There's another question again, this is,
Is the interest rate fixed? Yes, Mr. Joseph, the interest rate is fixed at 3.75%.
are there any more questions?
And you have 10 years to repay.
Thank you. Right, we're approaching. Antonio is there still.
This is for Antonio, because this is a question we're getting from some of our clients in terms of the transport sector. They want to know what options are available to them, because persons, for example, have ZRs and minibuses, they're interested in having public transport, but they're saying it's very difficult to source, or is the technology available there for them? This is for Antonio.
Yeah, so I would say that is a challenge. Having the vehicles for certain demographics, it's not widely available yet in Barbados, but I think the demand is growing, and I personally believe we need to have a kind of a group approach to doing it, because obviously from a vehicle dealership perspective, it's very difficult to go and acquire a brand for a particular vehicle if you only got one or two persons interested. So I think if we could kind of pull together some of those. I have spoken to one person already, and they wanted a very specific type vehicle because it had wheelchair access was a requirement, so that made it even more challenging to find. But I think if we could kind of pull together some of these persons, we might be able to have something appealing to get some of the local dealerships to be interested in it. I am aware of some pilot projects that are happening in other islands where they're going the route of retrofitting, but unfortunately, we're not looking at that here in Barbados right now. But they're doing some stuff like that. That's another opportunity, but that's not necessarily something that this within the scope of this project. But I would definitely in the new year probably circle back with some new opportunities for that demographic vehicle. So we know heavy duty, we know vans and commercial vehicles is a bit challenging. There are some options, but we need more to make it more appealing. So I would say that the short answer is there are some options out there, but we don't have any or much on the ground right now in Barbados.
I think Campbell has another question. Sharita? Sharita, can you hear me? Okay, well, we're approaching 11 o'clock, sorry, 12 o'clock, a minute to 12 right now. I just want to say, I see there's another question. DeVito, welcome and good morning, DeVito. You have, Sherry is going to respond to your question.
Hi, Mr. Wallace. Can you tell me if this is for a business or resident? Because I'm not sure based on your question. Business, you said yes, so business. Okay, good. So the same thing applies. So if you wanted to apply for ACs, you will still have to do the audit to see what size ACs you would need and location, etc. So you will still need to do the grant process, contact a smart farm partner, and go through the process. If it is that you have inefficient ACs currently and you want to replace those, you can hold on for our AC trading facility that should be launched soon in the new year, I would hope, and that would allow you to change out 5 of your inefficient ACs for 5 new ACs.
Thank you very much, Sherry. We're making good time. I don't think there aren't any more questions or any comments, but I just want to let you know, give you assurance that we have the supporting documentation that you would need, the letter of intent format, as well as the form that you would need to fill out if you're looking to obtain the grant funding to get things started. Want to remind you that you can reach out to either the calendar, the credit and project development manager, or myself, Christine Jones, if you wish to gather further information. We have with us provided us with very good information. Sherry May from the Ministry of Energy, who is the project officer there. And we also have Mr. Antonio Sealing. They both give excellent presentations for their particular roles. And so that said, I'm going to leave the closing remarks to Mr. Calendar so that we can, bring this process into a nice and beautiful ending. Okay, just want to let you know too that this information for those who came in late, you can go to YouTube, and so that you can view the presentation in its entirety. So we'll try to get that information available to you so that you don't miss out on this excellent opportunity to take advantage of the Energy Smart Fund program. Mr. Calendar?
I just want to close up first of all. I want to thank Christine for doing an excellent job this morning. I also want to thank Roger, who you all can't see, but he has facilitated this whole process as the systems administrator. I just, in closing up, I want to encourage the clients to take advantage of this opportunity. Come in, give us a call, come and speak to us. We developing a very good relationship with Smart Fund partners. We have an excellent relationship with Sherry and Kisha from the Ministry of Energy. And we are hoping that because we have good relationship with our clients as well, that we can all come together and work towards getting this project utilizing smart technology. I like what Mr. Steely said as it relates to the transport solution, because that's another area that our clients has been asking us to look at. So I think we're gonna have some private discussion to see how we can facilitate that. But as it relates to this initiative, we are very keen. We want a take from the clients. And what we also want is a situation where the clients come in, have the conversations with us, and even when there are difficulties, let us liaise on your behalf with the relevant personnel, entities, etc., to get this thing started, and hopefully get it done as quickly as possible. I want to thank everybody for this initiative this morning, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.